Hello, hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face, my card making space, and more holiday cards. I'm using more of the Simon Says Stamp December 2025 release. I'll have a link to the release in the description box below the video, along with links to all the supplies I use to make today's cards. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I do get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. It's what helps pay the bills, keeps the lights on, enables me to keep bringing out content. And today's video is also tied to a blog hop. I am part of a hop to share inspiration with this release. I'll have a link to my blog post in the description box as always, so you can check that out for all the inspiration, all of the other info, freebies, all that kind of stuff. So everything you need to know in the description box below, and then there will be links to a couple of referenced, a video and a playlist, and then of course my holiday 2025 playlist. All of that will be linked in the end screen at the end of the video for you to check out if you've missed them. And yeah, let's get into making these cards. So I'm starting with the forest background wafer die. And I die cut this from some Strathmore watercolor paper. Any watercolor paper will work for this. It honestly doesn't matter. Distress watercolor paper would work amazing. Canson XL, etc., etc. So I die cut the background multiple times because, as usual, I couldn't decide on one color to stick to. I also was hoping to have the time to do this in multiple colors because that'd be fun too. But anyway, after I had die cut it, I'm not using the frame because it's an A2 size die, so it's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And it die cuts all these pieces to create a forest background, and then it also die cuts a frame. So I just took all of the forest pieces and I stuck them to a stamp and stencil mat because this has a low tack adhesive on it, and it'll just hold my die cuts in place just enough so they're not like sliding all over the place, so I can slap some color on it. And to do that, I'm going to use Distress watercolor pencils. This palette I have a video on. It will be linked in the end screen at the end of this video. I did a video showing exactly how I made this palette with the Distress watercolor pencils, so that'll be linked at the end. I'll also link to my playlist of however many dozen videos I've done like using these. And then of course I'll link to my holiday 2025 playlist. So I went with the watercolor pencils. You can use whatever floats your boat. Inks, regular watercolors, anything really. This is just what I was in the mood for. So I decided to do one color per set of die cuts, basically. But again, I could have mixed and matched and done each piece a different color. That would have been fun too. That would have been fun. But instead, I went with one color and I did an ombre. And to do that, you just keep adding water. That's it. The more water, the less concentrated your color will be. So that applies to these, or if you're using just regular watercolors, if you're using inks or reinkers, distress inks, oxides, anything. The more water, the less pigment or dye there is, and the lighter the color gets. So I use it like as concentrated as possible for the bottom piece, and then I just keep adding little bits of water as I work my way towards the top. And I can go back, as I'm doing here, add another layer to really get it like solid color. You can also like mix colors together, especially if you understand like color theory, things like that, like to make them slightly darker or to mute them. If you wanted to mute this a little bit, you would add a little bit of red, just a bit, not a lot. But I just went straight color, no mixing, no nothing other than adding water, and that's it. And I'm just using I'll have links to everything like I always do, but this is a size 6 Royal Langnickel Zen brush. I like these brushes. They're dirt cheap. Love. I like my fancy brushes too, but for things like this, you don't need a special brush, and you don't need any real experience. Because I know watercoloring is intimidating. I've been there. still in there at times. But things like this, that's why I call it easy, because it is. Anyone can do this. We are not doing any sort of like glazing or complicated color mixing or, shadows and light sources or anything. It's like all you got to do is add color. And if lightning, like even doing an ombre, if that starts to like stress you out, not knowing like how much water do I need to add, etc., don't worry about it. Don't bother. Just paint each piece or paint them different colors. That works too, you know? But things like this, it's kind of it would be a fun way to experiment a bit and practice a bit, because just die cut some watercolor paper and then grab a color of choice and then just experiment, starting full strength and then add a little bit of water and then continue until you get it to like a very, very pale shade, and see how many steps, how many shades can you achieve with just one color. It can be fun. And then when you do things like me and just can't stop yourself and do multiple die cuts, because then it's like, ooh, what about this color? What about this color? So as you see, I did multiple colors because I can't help myself, and it's fun. Honestly, it is fun. I did speed this up significantly. I do not move this quickly in real life at all, but I was having fun. And then with after I was done each set, I took the pieces, I put them on a hardboard, set them aside, let them dry. And then with these stamp and stencil mats, I rinse them off in the sink. I don't use any soap cleaner. I don't scrub it. These do get very, very stained, especially when I'm doing stuff like this on them. But that's fine. I just rinse off whatever excess comes off in the sink, and then I prop them up to air dry, and that kind of retains a stick, and I put the little protective plastic piece over it, and I reuse these until there is no stick left. And it just works. I like them for the most part to do exactly things like this, to hold little die cut pieces of watercolor paper so I can slap color on them. So once all my pieces were dry, to assemble them, I just took some thin cardstock that I cut down into A2 size panels, and then I cut down some double-sided adhesive sheets to just a slightly bit smaller than that, and stuck the double-sided adhesive sheet to the cardstock, peeled off the backing to expose the adhesive, and then you just puzzle piece the die cut pieces onto it. And I'm just lightly pressing them down. That way I still have a little bit of wiggle room if I don't get them lined up. These are pretty easy to line up, but sometimes once I get going, I'm not really paying enough attention. It's like, ooh. So as long as you don't press everything down firmly, you can still move things around a bit with this type of stuff. So then once I had everything lined up, I took the release paper of the adhesive sheet just to prevent me from catching any little bits that might not have been pressed down. And then I can press really, really well with my bone folder. Like I go back and forth over it, and that pressure is what will like fuse everything together. And then I just repeat the process till I have all 4 pieces. And this is another one of those like oddly satisfying things, like piecing, like doing the little puzzle piecing back together. I don't know why. I very much enjoyed doing this. And then, yeah, pressing it all down. I don't work with the double-sided adhesive that often. I genuinely prefer my liquid glue, but this was way faster. And yeah, it just works. It just works. So once I had them all adhered, I just took my scissors and trimmed off what was left over. You could inlay the frame that it die cuts as well, but again, I didn't want the frame. I just wanted these panels with the backgrounds. So I just used my scissors and just cut right up to the edge of my puzzle pieces, and then we're good to go. So once I had those, I did splatter, but I wasn't filming. And yeah, love that for me. Thought I'd press the button, and I guess I didn't. So I used the Simon Says Stamp Positively Perfect Opaque White Splatter. I stirred it up with the silicone mini spatula and spoon. That just came out in this December release. I like that little thing. I think I might order a couple more of them because I'm sure I'm going to manage to lose one. But stirred it up really well because this is a very liquidy splatter product and all the pigment settles to the bottom. So I stirred it up. I'm like showing that, like I stirred it up, and then I used my fan brush and I heavily splattered these backgrounds with that white splatter. And yeah, the white splatter stayed really true to color. I thought it almost for sure would absorb some of the watercolor pencils, especially along the bottom where the color was so intense, but it didn't. It stayed pretty opaque. I was impressed. Yeah. So then, after I did the white splatter, I had let everything dry, and then I used my Gonzai Tombi Starry Colors, added a bit of water to that, mixed it up with my fan brush, and added a little bit of gold splatter. And for me, this is a little bit. The white was a lot. I added a lot, it's kind of given the illusion of snow. And then the gold, this is just an accent. So a little bit of gold splatter to all of these, and then set them aside. And while everything was drying, I did a bunch more die cutting because I die cut the Sending Warm Hugs die set. This is by CZ Design. And I die cut the top layer from matte gold cardstock. And then I die cut a couple more layers from white cardstock and the outline from vellum. And as is tradition, I adhered the matte gold cardstock layer to one of the white cardstock layers with liquid glue. That just gives it a little bit more dimension. And then this I'm going to adhere to the vellum outline. And with vellum, adhesive shows through it, especially liquid adhesive, but all adhesive shows through vellum. And I've shown in many, many videos. This is the easiest way to hide it. Now with a sentiment like this is what I call like a chunky sentiment. There's, a nice amount of space behind there. So this is the type of sentiment where I wouldn't have a problem just adding glue on the back of it and hiding it behind the letters because it's so wide. I wouldn't have to worry about glue oozing out. However, I still like adhering another die cut to the back under the vellum there. It just is still easier. Plus it does pop the vellum up off the card front just a smidge. And if you want it popped up more, you could either die cut more layers, or with a sentiment like this, I wouldn't be as bothered adding little bits of foam tape if I wanted to. But this, I was satisfied with adhering what I did. So after I did all my sentiments, set those aside, all my card bases are top folding A2 white note cards. And I pulled out the Making Spirits Bright stamp set from CZ Design. This came out, I forget when. It's a favorite of mine. I've used it a million times. I just took the big Happy Holidays sentiment from it, and I stamped it in various Simon Positively Saturated inks on the inside of each card to match kind of the colors on the front. So I ended up using Pine, Ocean, Crocus, and Taffy inks to stamp that sentiment, and just wiped it off in between the colors. And then once those were stamped, the card fronts get adhered to their respective card bases. And I would just pile my big acrylic blocks on top. And when I was doing all my die cutting, I also die cut some snowflakes using the Splendid Snowflakes wafer die set. Love it. I die cut some white glitter cardstock with those, and then adhered them directly to my card fronts with just little dabs of liquid glue, and then adhered my sentiment, putting that glue right onto the cardstock die cut so nothing's touching that vellum, so the vellum is pristine, and doesn't look weird. And then pop that into place, and then I just pop that final little snowflake into place, and then let the glue, and then repeat and let the glue dry. And once that was done, all these cards are complete. So I've got my backgrounds and splatter and a little bit of gold, sparkly little snowflakes, coordinating colors for the sentiment on the inside. Just matchy. These were fun. So, like I mentioned, I will have the videos I mentioned in the end screen at the very end of the video, so you can click on them if you're interested. All of the supplies, the link to the new release will be in the description box below, as well as a link to my blog post. Highly recommend checking it out. There's going to be a ton of inspiration. Always worth checking out. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me for thumbs upping and commenting. It helps a lot. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!